Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Welcome back to Frankenstein Control, everyone.
Yip zip.
We had to take a week off there so our own Mr. Russell could receive his second microchip.
And we gotta get ours, we gotta get this episodes done quick before Ada falls victim to the same delusions.
Yes, I had my second chip.
She was chipped
A
today.
couple hours ago.
Yeah, I was kind of weird and wonky after, after getting my second shot. It was all that 5G frying my brain. But I'm better now, so, hey, I'm all good.
It's a race against the clock before Ada powers down.
Yes.
Or just becomes more autistic.
That too.
Who knows?
Maybe both.
Anything can happen.
Anyhow, I mean, we really just got to wait and find out who gets to control both of you after, the Bill and Melinda Gates divorce situation plays out. They might both want 50-50, so just be prepared for that.
Half of my body goes to Billiam, and half of my body goes to Belinda.
Belinda, the Good Witch of the West. Oh, God, Oz. No, not the Wheelers. Such buried trauma.
That's it.
Gotta get us back on track here. Speaking of billionaires.
Bill Gates is going to show up with pizza cutters for hands.
I think that'd just be funny. I think the sight of Bill Gates dressed as a Wheeler would be so objectively funny that I couldn't be afraid.
There you go, B-Ray.
Yeah.
You've conquered your fear.
I think that would work.
If Williamford Gates showed up and broke your fear.
Yeah.
William Fence.
Sure.
Fence.
Speaking of billionaires, since our last episode aired, old Elon himself had a big win.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, the Dragon 4, so named because most SpaceX rockets become plumes of flame.
More like Dragon D's nuts.
I believe that is called a got him moment. But it was his first crewed SpaceX mission with actual people inside who could die, and it successfully docked with the ISS, and it brought its 4 passengers safely aboard. It was a tricky maneuver requiring precise timing. The Dragon crew first had to make contact with the Tesla they shot up there a few years ago, and then drive it into the ISS garage, which is open to space but breathable like a Star Wars hangar.
Oh, perfect.
Unfortunately, during this process, it was discovered that the Starman mannequin behind the Space Roadster's wheel was actually the freeze-dried corpse of the Stig from Top Gear. So, press F in the chat, folks, for old Stig.
Old Stigsworth.
He died doing what he loved, driving fancy cars for mean people.
Are you an asshole? Hire me. I'll drive things at you.
Now, for quite some time, Elon Musk has been entering boardroom meetings by yelling, "Your weapons are useless against me!" and counting on a flinty glare from Grimes dissuading any attempts to prove otherwise. So, upon receiving word that Dragon 4 had completed its mission, he immediately called President Biden to formally request that he be named Prince of Space.
I was wondering where that was going.
Biden was glad to hear the crew's safety and chuckled with good humor, but in typical boomer fashion, neglected to close both the audio and visual feeds of the Zoom call, so everyone could still hear him say, "That cartoonish supervillain can suck a dog's dick on Mars."
To which Elon responded, "That's what I plan to do."
That's why he's going up there.
That's why he's going to Mars, so he can suck a dog's dick in peace without fear of, is a man not entitled to the dick of his dog? No, says the man in Washington. I am Elon
No,
Musk.
says everybody. You're not entitled to the dick of your dog.
I've been playing a lot of Bioshozy.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought, what was the movie we were watching? Murder
on the Orient Express?
No, there was some, I don't remember what movie we were watching, but there was some guy and some fucking oh no, it was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's right.
And the badman in that briefly looked like Andrew Ryan.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
a long-winded thing for not much payoff. What have both of you been doing since our last episode? That was everything I just mentioned was, what's topical in the world right now. What's topical with you?
But wait. Welcome to Frankenstein Control.
Oh, God, who are we?
Welcome to Frankenstein Control. I am your host, Taylor Russell. To my right is Ada Ship.
I'm Ada, and I have the head of a crocodile.
And in front of me, as always, is B-Rai.
I'm I guess we're going Egyptian routes. You're Sobek, I'd be Horus.
And you can be Jasper.
Oh God.
I like it.
It's just Horace from the 101 Dalmatians, and then Jasper from Steven Universe.
Oh,
The idea of it being Horus, Horus, like
Yeah.
the fucking bird-headed Egyptian god.
Jasper
yeah,
from Steven
Jasper.
Universe.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I meant.
That's
Horace
the
and
fanfic
Jasper.
that I want to read. And it's not sexual at all. It's a buddy cop
Oh yeah, of course.
thing. That would be
I'm
rad.
down with
It's a
that.
buddy cop.
It's a buddy cop movie.
Who's the good cop? Who's the bad cop? Oh, trick question. They're both bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
So-
sick burn against the police. No one's really doing that these days.
no, nobody.
There's
We're
an,
breaking new ground.
there's
here
an
at Frankenstein
ACAB joke
Control.
in here somewhere, but
Assigned cop at birth.
oh my God!
I think that every single time I see that acronym.
Oh, that is really funny. Oh, that's funny. I am going to use that from now on because that's way funny. I wanted to talk about a couple movies that Lissa and I watched in the interim between our last episode because we've been sitting around with not much to do. The first movie that I have a lot less to say about, in a good way, was Kong Skull Island. It's actually pretty old now. I think it came out in like 2017 or some shit.
Is that Kong Skull Island?
Yes, Kong Skull Island. It's the Kong movie what they made with John Goodman a couple years ago, and
Was he King Kong?
no, he was not.
Why?
Disappointingly
Yeah,
enough.
why not?
They wouldn't need any effects. They just throw him on the camera and be like, it's King Kong, everybody.
That would
He's
work.
like, oh, so come. Oh.
I mean, fighter planes do shoot at John Goodman wherever he goes.
Aha, I knew it. And then he climbs on the Empire State Building. It goes, whoa,
Sure. No, they could have probably saved themselves God knows how many millions of dollars if they just had John Goodman do it. But no, John Goodman was the scientist interested in finding King Kong.
And eating?
I can only imagine.
Gorilla meat.
He
Could you
did what he
imagine a
did.
meat that big though? Yeah, I want to take a bite of that. It would be a big meat.
You want to eat a gorilla?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's illegal. Jane Goodall would be very upset.
A giant gorilla drumstick.
Gorilla.
Gorilla.
The gorilla. I saw a gorilla do that on the Nature Channel. Scared the crap out of me.
Where's that from?
King of the Hill.
Ah.
Yeah. Bobby's going into the. He's a middle school student posing as a high school student, and the janitor figured out like immediately what he was up to, and he's like, "First day in there, just puff your chest out, and walk like this," and he like walks in an exaggerated Bravo fashion, and he's like, "I saw a gorilla do that on the Nature Channel. Scared the crap out of me."
But what movie did you watch? You saw K-Ong Skull
Yes, we watched Kong Skull Island.
Island.
It's an old movie by this point. The reason we watched it is because it is the Kong-tinuity, if you will, of the Godzilla versus Kong that just came out, which is fucking awesome.
It was good?
That is
You liked it?
awesome.
Okay.
I was stoned as fuck when we watched it. So
Take that with a grain of salt.
take that with a grain of salt. But
Take
it
that
was,
with a nug of weed.
it was
Take that with a gummy bear.
pretty fucking good. It's really good. I think you in particular would like it, Taylor.
I do like shenanigans.
But we wanted to go back and watch. Like Lissa was like, there's all these people in this Kong movie that know Kong, and like he's presented as an established fact already. Like I think we missed some movies.
God,
so we
it
went
sounds
back
like a
and,
Godzilla movie.
It was. So we went back and
Everybody's
watched.
talking about the monster, but you don't see the monster. You just see a bunch of people running around like stupid shits, and you're like, I don't care. I want to see monkey fight.
And
There-
then Bryan Cranston dies in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There is an awful lot of he was cooking meth and he got stepped on by a giant ape.
Which is,
occupational hazard.
Well, it was one step off from how he really wanted to die. He did want to get stepped on, but by the big Resident Evil lady, not by the King Kong.
Imagining fucking Bryan Cranston being like, step on me. Watching.
Step on me, Lady Dimitrescu. Yeah, Mr. White!
Shut up.
Jesse in platform shoes and a big white dress.
Oh, God.
Getting into a whole weird area here.
So we finally meet Mr. White.
Oh, God.
Yeah, money.
No, the movie Kong Skull Island is okay. The movie is actually about Samuel L. Jackson going full Captain Ahab on a giant ape.
That actually sounds pretty legit, though.
Yeah.
My previous comment might stand corrected. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's Samuel L. Jackson plays the leader of the soldiers. So, like, John Goodman is a scientist man who wants to go... He thinks he knows where... There's this lost continent of giant bullshit.
John Good, man.
Yeah. Yes. John Good the Man is his actual name. That's what's on his birth certificate.
Oh, no wonder he picked the stage name.
But yeah, he thinks he knows. He thinks he knows where the lost continent of giant bullshit is, and he wants to go find it. And he's like, "I'm gonna need a military escort." So they're like, "Hey," because it's like in the late '60s, and they're like, "Hey, Samuel L. Jackson, you know how you were just saying you're a career soldier who knows nothing outside the battlefield, and you're actually sad that your guys are leaving Nam? Guess what? We want you to go do now." And then like they stupidly fly at the giant ape, and it kills some of his men. And he's like, "It killed my men. It has to die." And then he goes on a literal Captain Ahab. That's just the rest of the movie is his Captain Ahab fixation on avenging the men that he threw at Kong by continuing to try to waste lives and resources to kill Kong. To what productive end?
Wave of men to stop.
King Kong has a preset kill limit.
He'll shut down after it's exhausted. So yeah, that's.
Does that make John Goodman Ishmael?
Sure. No, it makes him Weequeg.
Oh. I never read Moby Doozer.
The movie is
Moby Penis.
Mobert Penis.
I never read Mobert Cock.
One thing I did want to say about the movie before I moved on, because I've already spent too much time on it, is dumb, is I have to hand it to this movie. It is not afraid. It really does a good job of selling...
To show a gay relationship on screen?
No.
John Goodman ex King Kong.
Yeah!
Sure. It really does a good job of selling the danger of like an island full of, an island where the ants are the size of basketballs and there's fucking kaiju everywhere. Mm-hmm. It really does a good job of selling the danger by, like, the movie is completely unafraid to very abruptly kill off characters that it's given you, like, emotional attachments to.
Attack on Titan, but with monkey.
Pretty much. And it's just like, holy, like, the deaths are like, whoa, fuck! Kind of, they have that kind of an air to them.
No,
because
that's
you're
cool.
like, damn, whoa.
Surprise death.
Yeah, like surprise death of someone I actually sort of cared about because they were on screen for a little while, and I like bothered to learn the character's name, and now they're stepped on by a giant spider.
Giant Spider Invasion, the remake.
Hello, this is Ada with an interjection. For the rest of this episode, we discuss the sex crimes depicted in the film Hanzo the Razor, as well as the less severe but still uncomfortable sexual content in the anime Blue Gender. If you're especially sensitive to these topics, I suggest you stop listening now and go watch one of our older episodes.
But I want to wrap up all the Kong talk now, because what I'd really like to talk to you both about... This movie is it killed enough of my brain cells that I'm barely coherent.
I see.
The movie in question I've mentioned before, and it goes by the title of Hanzo the Razor, Sword of Justice.
Oh yes, you've regaled us about certain aspects of the film before.
I mean, you like brought this up earlier about how you wanted to talk about this because you saw it and it's awful. From what I remember, though, from you telling us about it in the first place, is that his
didn't sound that great.
Is that his superpower is rape?
Yes.
So I don't know what you were expecting.
I forgot about that part. Well,
What do you mean you forgot about that part?
How do you
thing is-
forget about the rape?
How do you
by
forget
blocking it from my memory because it was traumatic.
How do you
Yeah.
forget about the thing
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
that's valid.
his superpower that you said it was?
Well, the thing is that the movie is it's so much worse than that.
Uh-huh.
Because the way I remembered it was a couple of uncomfortable scenes that pretty much were rape peppered throughout an otherwise good samurai film. Mm-hmm. The movie presents itself as a samurai film. You know how we make the joke that any given Gundam series is not a giant robot anime as much as it is a show about extremely complicated space politics occasionally interrupted by robot fights?
Yes. I actually watched that episode yesterday. Frankenstein Control, episode 30, the anime episode.
Hanzo the Razor is a samurai film in the sense that it presents itself as a samurai film. Mm-hmm. There are samurai in it, and there's 1 to 2 sword fights that are pretty good for the early 70s. I gotta hand it to them.
Kurosawa, this is not.
These scenes comprise a generous 15 to 20% of the movie. The rest, the remaining 4/5 of the film is softcore porn.
Oh my god,
dear.
really?
This is a softcore porn film
Holy moly.
that pretends to be a samurai flick. And all but one of the many, many, many sex scenes are rape.
Jesus
All
Christ.
And I was like, what the fuck? When I was watching it, I was like, I don't remember this being... I'm positive it's the movie I saw before because there's a fight scene on a bridge and a chase scene in the beginning and the dick beating scene.
That's what you told us about last time.
you
That was-
showed us that.
The dick beating scene.
Unfortunately, I've seen that part.
That was
And then
all-
He fucks a bale of salt or something.
That was all still in there, so I know this was the movie I watched, but I think I just blocked so much of it from my memory
Yeah.
that I was like, this is porn.
Yeah.
This is just flagrantly, this is Skinemax. This is Samurai Skinemax. This is a porno that is unusually dedicated to the samurai subplot.
Wow.
And
Hanzo the Raper.
yeah, I mean, he really is. And I wanted to look up a couple reviews to see if anyone else had talked about that at all.
Yeah.
And only one other person that I could find was like, I stared dumbstruck at what I was seeing. The rest were all like, oh, it's a good samurai movie. I'm like, is it though? Did you watch the film?
My phone's ringing. It's probably my boss.
And he says, I just watched this movie called Hanzo the Razor. Holy shit, man. I don't know who else to talk to about it. You seem pretty cool.
I'll call you tomorrow.
But, yeah, like, I told Listen, I wanted to watch a samurai movie. So I was like, oh, I just wanted to comedically gauge her reaction to the dick beating scene because I had never told her anything about Hanzo the Razor.
Uh-huh.
And so we watched that
God.
part. We watched that part. We laughed at that part. And then, like, all the sex scenes kept happening. And they kept, like, they're really long. That's why I said I'm not kidding. It's like more than half the movie is the porn scenes.
Sounds like a French film.
It was like halfway through the movie, and I was like, there hadn't been a single like samurai thing happen this whole time. He just wailed on his dong, and it's porn now.
Yeah.
and there was plenty of shots establishing Hanzo's not at all subtle torture kink of himself. Fortunately, he does not torture any of the concubines he arrests and does things to.
No, God.
But he tortures himself, and it's weird, and I don't know who those scenes were for.
Yeah. Who's enjoying this?
And Hanzo himself...
They're on a watch list.
And this is like...
All those people who have good reviews on Amazon are on watch lists.
Yeah.
I mean, this is... We're all in our 30s, and things are happening to our bodies now, so this is like the pot calling the kettle black, but... Hanzo's kind of dumpy, and you don't really want to see him doing these things to people or himself.
Remember, kids, the halo effect is real. If the man was a very sturdy, strong-looking fellow with a six-pack abs, he could rape anyone he wants, says B-Rye.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything other than this movie fucked me up.
You're saying he's dumpy and you don't want to see him naked under any circumstance.
Yeah, certainly not one where he's raping people.
Yes. So it's bad with worse.
Yeah.
It's a shit sandwich. Or a shit sushi roll.
Don't, if you want to watch Hanzo the Razor,
don't.
Think twice, and it's weird porn. It's not a samurai film.
If you want Hanzo the Razor, just play Overwatch and shave your legs.
Sure.
You'll be fine.
Oh, I got that now. That's funny.
There's a character named Hanzo in it.
Yeah.
And you use a razor to shave your legs. Typically.
I don't. I use a obsidian that I bash shards off of in the back.
you pluck your leg hairs out with your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
I got a new knife and it's hair shaven sharp.
Oh, dear.
B-Rye's new knife is hair shaven sharp. Don't name your razor sharp blade Hanzo, okay?
No, I will not. I will not do that. I think, though, I get a little bit more of Samurai Champloo's parody character of him because Samurai Champloo, as we also discussed in our previous episode, does have a parody character of Hanzo the Razor named, I think it's like Isami the Saw or something like that. And he is not at all a sexual character. Like, he does not do anything sexual at all. He does not accost people or anything like that. But he does have that stupid, like, saw blade that's really floppy. And I think that the weapon being floppy was a
penis joke.
A penis joke because so much of Hanzo, there is a lot of shots of the shadow of Hanzo the Razor's monster hog. And it's just a very unwelcome thing.
Yeah.
His name is Priapism Pete.
Yes.
He just goes by Hanzo the Razor in Japan.
Yes. He even has a boner when he's yelling at his boss in his underpants, because that happens in the movie. There's a scene, because Hanzo he's a samurai cop, but he's very much a loose cannon, and, Hanzo, you're cleaning up the streets, and I'm a dirty cop, and I'm in charge of the precinct, and I've been paid to keep the streets dirty, so I can't have you running around. I'm going to need your badge and your samurai gun.
And then Hanzo just brandishes his bones at him.
Hanzo is he yells Hanzo this while Hanzo is presumably in the samurai locker room, having giant slabs of rock placed on his legs that mash him onto spikes. And the boss is like, "What the fuck are you doing, Hanzo? Why are you doing that?
The fuck are you doing, Hanzo? You're not going to pass the class."
Hanzo's like, "We torture people because we're cops. We should know what it feels like to be tortured." And I'm like, you kind of got a point there, but you're going about it in a weird way. And then finally, he tells his assistants to take the rocks off him. And he's just in his friggin' fundoshi underwear, and he has a giant boner. And his boss is like,
"Are you sure this movie isn't some sort of madcap comedy?"
"I don't think so."
And this time you just imagined the rape.
No, the rape was definitely not imagined. And it's not even, like, it's worse than just rape, because there's very, very negative stereotypes of rape depicted in it. I don't really want to say too much without triggering people, and it's just awful.
I feel like we're past that point.
Yeah.
But still don't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's not go any farther.
There's really no need to. Just don't watch the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't even... Yeah, so then he's, like, yelling at his boss with a boner, and, like...
Which, I mean, honestly, who among us has not at one point in their life done that?
Yeah.
If you had answered your phone earlier, you would have been doing that.
Yeah, I would have been doing exactly with my gigantic hog.
I've been watching some anime that has had some uncomfortable sex stuff in it as well.
The horo.
No, that one's actually been pretty
chaste.
Sure, I guess that's an appropriate word.
It's a weird way to put it.
It's not horny.
Okay.
Yeah, but this other anime I've been watching that I've talked about before with you guys, Blue Gender.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it's horny for all the wrong reasons.
Well,
the bugs are horny, and by that I mean their faces are
Yeah, their
vaginas.
faces look like vaginas. But that's not the horny part. Like,
Wow, really?
There's just a lot of instances where, like, sex will happen
Oh.
out of nowhere. Like, in the very first episode. For those that don't know, this is a story about, like...
It's very similar to Starship Troopers, sort of.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a post-apocalyptic. These bug monster things have taken over the Earth, and then there's these... The only remaining humans live up on a space station, and there's this whole ordeal of them trying to eradicate the bug monsters that they call Blue. So there's like, in the very first episode, they rescue the main character, and there's this like girl that's in a one of their trucks that's like reading off all this data to herself. Mm-hmm. Like she's just sitting there reading it as it goes on, and this like. One of the other pilots comes up behind her and like unbuttons her her bulletproof vest and like takes her shirt off and is just like groping her.
The fuck?
As she like continues to just emotionlessly read all this data, and he's just like groping the shit out of her and kissing her and everything as she's just sitting there.
Are other people nearby?
No, it's just those two, and then the episode ends, and then they both die in the next episode. So you never exactly learn what the deal is with
it goes
that.
off of Friday the 13th logic.
Yeah.
Or
If you have sex, you die.
Yeah, if you have
if
sex,
you get
you
horny, you
die.
die. I think that was what it was meant to be, is that a hint to just how things work in the future, just because everybody's a soldier, essentially. So there's this attitude of like, you could just go into battle and die at any point. So why bother with like complex monogamous relationships when you can just fucking have fun in the small amount of time that you're alive to do so?
So it's the Khajiit Book of War from, you remember that one? Where there's like
No, I don't.
There's like those Khajiit bandits in Oblivion that are like hinted to be raiding somewhere. You never see this shit happen. It's just lore. But you can find the manifesto of those Khajiit warriors, and it says stuff like, enjoy life while you can, and I don't know why I'm saying that in a Khajiit voice. It's all text, but it's like, enjoy life while you can. And it's like, if you have not recently made love, go do so now. I'll wait. And then it's like, okay, are you back?
Wow, that's like the Elder Scrolls book equivalent of like, all right, and if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I'll pause the video and come back. I'll wait.
Because it's all about like, we could lose our lives in this military endeavor here that we're doing as these Khajiit bandits writing this book, I guess.
There was this other scene much later in the series where they've like gotten up on the space station and they're like dealing with people that are on there, and there's a scene where like this guy is like trying to court the female lead character. And this guy has the same voice as Goku.
Oh no! It's me, it's your friend Goku.
Yeah, but he's like kind of a perv. He's not like a irredeemable pervert, but he's like doing like wolf whistles and stuff, and like putting slight pressure on sexual situations
With his
and
cock.
It's not that bad,
With
but
his hog.
He like invites the lead to this room that is apparently just like a public fuck room.
Wow.
And there's just like, it caught me off guard. Just one of those things I wasn't expecting. Like, they're making out, and then it just pans over, and there's like people giving each other blowjobs. One guy watching just with his hand in his pants.
Oh my god.
And it's like this still like panning screenshot. Like, is this allowed? Can you do this?
Yes, it is in the future. In the near distant future.
Yeah.
It's the future that liberals want. They want fuck rooms.
Unrelated to the weird sex stuff, there was some like character that was just on the radio. He had like a single line, and it's the same voice actor as Vegeta doing the same voice for Vegeta, but without the like Vegeta-ness. So it sounded like Vegeta if he went to bed at 9 p.m. and paid his taxes on time. Like the most boring baseline Vegeta possible. I'm weirdly obsessed with it, despite the one line. Like, I need to look it up and just listen to it repeatedly.
This is Three Dog, Kakarot. I'm mixing up my references here.
I'll
what?
say.
Three Dog, he's a DJ from
Fallout 3.
Mm.
Oh, so which it was the source of the bug invasion, just like a blue gender reveal party, and it unleashed the apocalypse.
I know,
That's what
like
happened?
I'm just gonna spoil this series for you.
25 years old.
Yeah. Apparently the whole plot is that they're trying to rescue this guy and other people like him that were put into cryogenic stasis because they had this illness that couldn't be cured. And it turns out that the reason they want these people with this illness is because there's something they can do to like activate it that makes them stronger and makes them really good at fighting the blue. And it turns out that part of what makes them so good at it is that it puts them on the same like wavelength as the blue, and they can basically read their minds ahead of time. So like it's fighting someone that you can read their minds. It's a lot easier. But because of that, it's basically stated that the illness that they have is what begat the blue. So like if they get too stressed or something, or they call them the B cells. If they let the B cells take over, then apparently they could just mutate into a new horrible bug creature.
So to fight the bugs, they had to become the bugs, but the bugs are there in the first place because they became the bugs.
Yeah.
If the B cells can't do it, the B cell sounds like some new awful form of incel.
It does. It's like one of those dumb arbitrary classifications people like to put into stuff like zeta males or sigma males or something. You're a B cell. Like, all right, shut up.
We're going to the B cell subreddit. We're gonna go there and we're gonna learn about all the genders. All of them are bug.
all the blue genders.
All the blue genders, which is just
I just really want to know why they call it blue gender. Like,
I've always wondered that.
What does gender have to do with it so far?
I've always wondered. I'm pretty sure I own this series.
You're asking some pretty fucking red pill questions right now, Ada.
Steven watched it years and years and years ago in middle school, or like when we were in early high school, and like at an age where we were just like violent anime, okay.
Yeah. You guys saw the fuck room.
Yeah, well, it's just like, I'm largely unable to follow the more complex or sort of problematic elements of this plot. I'm just in it for the violent scenes and the bug aliens and the sex because I'm 14.
And the fuck room.
And because of that, I think I have... I'm pretty sure I own Blue Gender. Like, I have the complete DVD box set, and I've always...
You have a gender.
Yes, and I've always sort of wanted to watch it because I was like, what, isn't that anime with, like, the Starship Troopers? Maybe I should watch that sometime. And now I feel like Ada's just summarizing it for me. And I'm like, all right, now I don't have the motivation to, like, open up the DVDs and feed them one by one into my...
It's not really bad, but it's not spectacular, so it's... Unless you just really want to see bug mutants get ripped the fuck up, then
Anyway, I got a Deep South rendition of it called Blue Jimbo. It's a story about a man fighting a big old bug in his basement. He got a 2x4, and that bug is big!
It's called Blue Gender because they're the blue Fugits, that inbred clan of hill folk that turn blue because they...
That's why it's called Blue Jimbo. Jimbo is the last surviving member of the blue Fugits. Were they the Fugits?
I think so.
Their last name?
I think so.
Fugit's a funny name.
It is a funny name.
Because it sounds like...
Fugit. Fugue this.
That's a good save.
Yes.
Well, if you didn't fugue your cousin, you wouldn't be blue.
Oh, my goodness gracious. This was such a good time. But now I'm turned into a Fugit.
Sure.
And now I'm 3 inches tall. Be right. I need you to carry me home.
I was going to anay, but...
Thank you.
You are home.
Put me in your
Taylor,
front
if you lived here, you'd be home by now.
Put me in your breast pocket.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.